it rarely looks dramatic. No slammed doors, no shouted arguments. Instead, it unfolds in the quiet sabotage of something beautiful unfolding right in front of them. You've seen it, maybe even lived it. A relationship finally feels safe and steady. Conversations flow without the old tension. Intimacy deepens naturally. And suddenly, they start creating distance. A text goes unanswered for longer than usual. Plans get canceled with vague excuses. The warmth that was building cools overnight, replaced by a polite but unmistakable retreat. Or perhaps it's a career win, a promotion, a project succeeding beyond expectations. And instead of celebrating, they downplay it, pull back from the team, or even quietly begin looking for reasons it might not last. This pattern isn't laziness or fear of commitment in the usual sense. It's a deeply wired response that psychologists call fear of positive emotions. People who do this aren't broken. They've simply learned, often in childhood, that moments of joy, connection, or success are followed by inevitable collapse. In homes where stability was rare, where a good week could turn into shouting matches, financial surprises, or sudden absences, happiness became a warning signal. The nervous system adapted by treating good feelings as threats, the same way others might brace for bad news. When life feels too right, the body floods with cortisol, whispering that this can't be real, that letting your guard down now will only make the fall harder later. For many, this traces back to inconsistent caregiving. Not the dramatic traumas that make headlines, but the subtler ones. Parents who were warm one day and distant the next, praise that came with strings attached, or love that felt conditional on performance. The child learns early that safety lies in staying one step removed from the good stuff. Vulnerability, even positive vulnerability, risks exposure. So, they master the art of self-protection through withdrawal. It's not conscious sabotage most of the time. It's an automatic reflex, like pulling your hand from a hot stove. Except here, the heat is the very thing they crave: closeness, achievement, peace. As adults, this shows up in predictable but painful ways. In romantic partnerships, they might pull away right when things turn serious, citing needing space, or suddenly noticing flaws they ignored before. At work, after landing a big opportunity, they might undermine themselves with procrastination, or by isolating from supportive colleagues. Even in personal growth therapy breakthroughs, new habits sticking, they can feel an inexplicable urge to quit just as momentum builds. Friends notice the pattern, the person who lights up in the beginning, but fades when the friendship deepens. The internal experience is one of quiet torment. Part of them desperately wants the good to continue, while another part, the protective one forged in uncertainty, insists it's safer to leave first. What makes this withdrawal especially insidious is how invisible it feels to the person experiencing it. They might rationalize it as being realistic or protecting their peace, never connecting it to the deeper wiring. Research in attachment theory points to avoidant or disorganized styles as common root strategies developed when early relationships taught that closeness could hurt. Positive emotions in this framework become almost as dysregulating as negative ones, because they were never modeled as lasting. The brain, shaped by intermittent reinforcement, defaults to expecting the other shoe to drop. So, when things get good, the mind starts scanning for threats that aren't there, manufacturing them if needed. Overthinking a partner's tone, questioning if the success is deserved, convincing oneself that pulling back is the mature choice. The cost is profound. Relationships stall at surface level. Potential stays unrealized. Life becomes a series of almosts, almost happy, almost connected, almost thriving. Because the moment fulfillment nears, the familiar discomfort of withdrawal feels more trustworthy than the unknown of staying. Over time, this creates a lonely kind of exhaustion. The person who withdraws often carries a quiet grief for the life they keep stepping away from, even as they tell themselves it's for the best. Yet within this pattern lies an extraordinary capacity for depth once the cycle is interrupted. These individuals tend to be highly self-aware, empathetic, and capable of profound loyalty qualities that emerge fully when they learn to tolerate the discomfort of good things lasting. The path forward isn't about forcing themselves to stay in the moment, but about gently retraining the nervous system to recognize safety. Practices like mindfulness help them notice the urge to retreat without immediately acting on it. Therapy focused on somatic experiencing or schema work can unpack the old beliefs that good equals dangerous. Journaling prompts such as, "What would it feel like if this lasted?" Or, What small evidence shows I'm safe right now? Build tolerance for positive states. Reparenting here looks like celebrating small wins without immediately minimizing them, allowing compliments to land instead of deflecting, and practicing staying present when connection feels too sweet. It's slow, often nonlinear work, but the reward is liberation from the old script. They discover that happiness doesn't have to be followed by loss, that stability can be chosen, not just survived. In the end, people who withdraw when things get good aren't avoiding success or love. They're protecting a younger self who learned that those things came at a price. By understanding this, they can begin to rewrite the ending. The good doesn't have to end because it once did. It can be the beginning of something steadier, kinder, and finally theirs to keep.